Hey there once again, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Well, we got another day and another task that needs doing. Melissa, what are we gonna do today?
Compost.
Compost. We're gonna go through or what was serving as our chicken coop. We've got a bunch of chicken and rabbit manure that's been mixed up in there, and that's actually what we utilize for the compost in our gardens. So we need to get that cleaned up, and we thought we'd take you guys along and show you once again how it is that we go about getting compost for our gardens.
Let's get going.
Make the most of every day. Make the most of what God gave with good, simple living.
Behind me here is our empty chicken coop. It's empty because we sold off all of our laying ladies in preparation for our move to Idaho. So we won't be replacing our chickens till we get out there, but we need this chicken coop that's going to be staying on this homestead to look really nice and get it all dialed in, get all the old compost taken out for the new owners.
So what we have in here are old wood chips that we put in, and it served as carbon bedding for all the nitrogen and for the chicken and rabbit manure that we actually put in here. So it's composted down over time. Back when we did have chickens, they would obviously scratch through it and turn it, which helped with the composting process. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our shovels, we're gonna scoop up as much as we can. We're gonna put it through a little homemade sifter that I'll show you here in a second. The end result is a beautiful black, nutrient-dense soil that serves the garden really well. Everything explodes in it, and it not only looks good, but it produces like an amazing amount of delicious food. So here's a little DIY sifter, compost sifter that I built myself. It's a pretty straightforward and simple design. It's very basic. So we've got some like 2x3-inch lumber here with some channels that have been cut out. Holding that frame together is just some 2x4s. We also have a 2x4 frame on sifter itself, the bottom of which has some fixed wheels purchased from any hardware store, as well as some what I believe is 1/2-inch hardware cloth. So what we're gonna do is, again, we're gonna scoop up all of our composted manure. We're gonna dump it into our sifter. This thing will slide back and forth. All the small particles that we wanna hold on to will fall into the wheelbarrow, which will then be dumped into our garden beds. All the big chunks that are left behind will be set aside and left to compost down even further. So it's not the dustiest part of the year. It's not the summertime when I'm gonna have to worry about all these particles coming back at me, but just in case, as a precaution, we're gonna go ahead and slap a mask on so I'm not inhaling a bunch of manure. So we got a lot of questions over the last spring and summer about how it is that we are managed to produce so much in our tiny gardens, our relatively tiny gardens. And guys, the secret to this whole thing is the quality of our compost. So something I forgot to mention a second ago is that on top of the rabbit and chicken manure that gets put in here, we also dump all of our food scraps and all of the ash that we get from our outside fire pit, our exterior fire pit, and also our wood stove. So if you look at it, there's really nothing better. It's black. It's all the finest particles, the best part of the compost, everything you want. It's great for soil retention, and it's also extremely nutrient dense. Can't recommend it enough.
Gardening might be the last thing on your mind in January, but actually this is the time to start prepping your garden. So we're gonna actually leave all of this compost piled in the beds. That way, when it rains through the winter and the spring, all the nutrients can leach down into that bottom layer of soil. So now is the time to pile up your compost, let it age, let it sit in the beds, and just let the rain leach all the nutrients in.
got here?
Gold.
Got an old eggshell that didn't break down all the way. I don't even know what that is. You know what that is, Mama?
Avocado fish?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is an avocado fish. Pretty cool.
They're cool. Alright, that is going to do it for today's video. We're cold. We have a lot of projects to do to get this place ready to sell, but we're going to chip away at it little by little. Hopefully you guys took something away from that video and it will help you on your own composting journey.
Yeah, and if anyone watching has any questions, make sure you stick them down below. Melissa and I read all the comments. We'll try to get back to you when possible. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks,
we'll
guys.
See you on the next one.